the game of the week. Today, it's the Chicago Bulls versus the Orlando Magic.
On this Sunday evening in Orlando, it's the Chicago Bulls visiting the Magic Kingdom, third and final meeting of the regular season between the Bulls and the Magic. Chicago at 64-10. That's the best record in the NBA, on their way to home court advantage throughout the playoffs, while Orlando is trying to secure the 7th spot in the Eastern Conference. The Magic struggling as of
to take away his post-up for the Bulls. That's Scottie Pippen. The numbers remarkably similar. Scottie the better defender, Penny the better post player, and Scottie Pippen has swing of things scoring-wise, mainly because the Bulls dominated in every area. Now Michael has had to do so much besides scoring due to the absences of Longley, Kukoc, and Robin, but Michael has
fouled from 2 straight playoff meetings. Two years ago, the Magic knocked off the Bulls en route to the finals. Last year, Jordan and the Bulls got their revenge. It's the Bulls versus the Magic next. Here in Orlando today as we get set for the Bulls and the Magic. Jason Caffey, Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley, Michael Jordan, Ron Harper in the starting lineup. Horace Grant is back. Nick Anderson, Ronnie Cycli returns from the ankle injury. Brian Shaw starting instead of Dennis Scott, who will play, and Penny Hardaway. The officials: Ed Rush, Davy Jones, and Scott Wall. Third meeting of the season and third and final of the regular season. The Bulls won the previous 2. And the irony, Matt, both by scores of 110-89.
Yeah, I'm sure the Magic want to reverse that trend if they can.
With their first shot of the night. And Cycli with the rebound. Ronnie Cycli with a sprained left ankle. Sat out the game against the Knicks on Friday night. Horace Grant was a question mark for today. He's been out a couple of games with spasms in his lower back. And Brian Shaw is playing with a sprained neck, although he says he's all right. Hardaway pops it back out to Shaw for 3.
One of the things the Chicago Bulls do not want to do is have to double team Penny Hardaway. Michael thought that Pippen was in a little bit of trouble there, came down and left the wide open shot for Brian Shaw, but the Bulls will gamble with that shot.
Nice pass. Jordan did not have the move as he tried to post it up, so fed out to the high post, and then Longley with a nice feed, and the Bulls with a 2-0 lead.
So many keys for Orlando against Chicago, but number one, they have to believe they can beat the Bulls.
Cycli thought he was fouled. Jordan off the fake for 3. And the box out by Grant, able to save it. How about the performance by the injury hit Orlando Magic and beating the Knicks in New York on Friday night, led by the combination of Danny Shays and Derek Strong. Danny Shays in only his 5th start with a season-high 21 points and 11 rebounds. Caffey on the recovery, and Derek Strong with 21 points and did the job off the boards. Here's Longley. Crowd thought there should have been a traveling violation. The Bulls with a 4-0 lead. That pass off the mark. Here comes Pippen in the open floor. Oh, the hesitation dribble. He drew the foul. Won't count. The basket does not count. Took the bump from Horace Grant.
Well, Michael Jordan working against Brian Shaw, got hacked, and then to the wide open Luke Longley, who never looked at the basket, as once Michael Jordan had that ball, he attracted the whole attention of the Magic defense. And Luke Longley showing that left-hand move across the lane, as the Bulls like to go inside to Longley, not just in the triangle offense where a lot of their things start, but they want him to be offensive-minded early. They know he has a tendency to get in foul trouble, especially against an active mobile center like Ronnie Cycli.
Scottie Pippen just under 70% at the line, hitting on 1 of 2, and the Bulls have a 5-0 lead.
In that game against the Knicks the other night, I think the Magic shocked New York by staying close in that ball game, actually having the lead, and it's so important for them, especially today as they trail 5-0.
And then the Knicks come back and beat the Hawks in Atlanta last night. Talk about ups and downs of the Magic. How about the Knicks? Reach-in foul is called. There was only 1 on the 24, and it's on Michael Jordan. Well, the last 5 games for Orlando, a bad loss in San Antonio. That was the prior week. They come back home. They get blown out by the Knicks last Sunday. Then they lose at home to the Sixers and the Clippers. And then, inexplicably, beat the Knicks in New York without Cycling, Grant, and Scott. Well, an early timeout being called by Phil Jackson. He wants a 20-second timeout. So the Bulls will talk it over. Early last week here in Orlando, the local paper, the Orlando Sentinel, in an extensive story, dissected the firing of Brian Hill with Penny Hardaway's role detailed. And it led to much discussion here in Orlando. And Nick Anderson on the radio apparently said that, in his opinion, fans and media could drive Penny Hardaway out of town. We asked Penny his reaction to that statement.
I just laugh at that. I mean, I appreciate Nick going to bat for me, but this is my team now, and I'll worry about that when my free agency comes up. I mean, I'm happy with Orlando right now. I love Orlando, and that thought isn't even in my mind. As the years go on, my free agency comes around, then I'll worry about it then.
Well, Penny Hardaway and the fans and media of Orlando have had a strained relationship ever since the day that he was traded here for Chris Webber on draft night. But no question, everybody recognizes Penny Hardaway's talent and ability, and he's just in the middle of a buzzsaw on the whole Brian Hill issue. Most people in town thought that story was fading away, but it was resurrected once again on Monday.
Well done story, also well documented. It was a step-by-step procedure of how it all took place. Richie Adubato taking over from Brian Hill on February the 18th. The Magic at the time had lost 5 straight. And a reach-in foul is called.
Foul number 13.
It's on Longley his first. Since Adubato took over, Orlando has won 17 and lost 8. So for Richie, it's game number 26 as the head coach. Bulls with a 5-2 lead. 3 minutes in, first quarter. Open shot for Shaw. Obviously, Michael Jordan not respecting the outside shooting touch of Brian Shaw. Here's Caffey right back, and he draws the foul. The 3 by Shaw ties the game at 5, and the Bulls able to beat the Magic on the transition. Foul called on Shaw.
Well, the Bulls do not like to double team in the post. They want to stay home on their man. Michael Jordan just gambled there, but of course he looks at the stat sheet just like everybody else and sees that Brian Shaw is just a 36% shooter from 2-point range and 32% from 3-point range. So they'll gamble on Brian Shaw, and many of Brian's long threes generally lead to easy fast break baskets for opponents.
The Bulls with a 7-5 lead, and here's some pressure being shown by Chicago. Magic able to handle it. Hardaway played by Pippen. One-on-one move and draws the foul. Luke Longley picking up Penny Hardaway after Hardaway beat Pippen off the dribble. Foul on Longley, his second.
Well, Penny Hardaway just has so much confidence in his ability, even to go by a good perimeter defender, I should say a very good perimeter defender like Scottie Pippen. And Pippen immediately went over and talked to Luke Longley. He said, yeah, I need your help there on the baseline, but I need you to stand still. Make him make a tough shot. Don't reach in and commit a foul.
And Phil Jackson going to the 43-year-old Robert Parrish. Early substitution after Longley picks up his second. Bill Wennington sidelined now by injury, an injured foot. He's on the list, on the injured list. Tony Kukoc, as we mentioned earlier, is once again hurt, re-injured that right foot. Dennis Rodman, as you know, is out. Scottie Pippen with his first field goal. Rodman says he wants to return for the last 2 games of the regular season against Miami and New York. Has the sprained left knee. He has now missed 6 games, including this evening. And the other day, Cycling had it taken away by Pippen. The other day, Brian Williams, the one-time Clipper, the one-time Orlando Magic side. The 3 by Pippen. So the Bulls lead 12-7. Phil Jackson telling us he is really far away from playing solid minutes. Did play the other night against the Cavaliers in the Bull victory over Cleveland on Friday night. Here's Horace Grant. And run down by Cycling. Cycle defense against Chicago.
Well, with the Bulls being so thin up front with their interior defense, you can see that the rest of the perimeter players sense that whether it's Luke Longley or Robert Parrish, they're going to need help inside, whether it's Penny Hardaway going on a drive or Ronnie Cycli on post-up plays as Pippen turns that into a three-point shot. When Pippen has his perimeter game going, he is much better player in every phase.
Hardaway. Cycling not able to get to the tip, and this is Harper with a 4-on-3 developing. Caffey posting up on Anderson. Jason Caffey. Oh, stuffed home by Pippen. So the Bulls lead 14-7. And Orlando takes a timeout. 7 minutes, 7 seconds remaining. First quarter. Chicago by 7.
Well, the Magic are getting caught in some switches and then not getting a body on people. This time it was Horace Grant who should have gotten into Pippen and knocked him out of there.
Well, this past Thursday, busy day for the Chicago Bulls. Play the Bullets at night. And this is the scene earlier in the day as they were guests at the White House. President Clinton given a jersey sporting #1, and fellow Arkansas native Scottie Pippen had this to say.
I teach my teammates that me and the president are homeboys, and I asked them to conduct themselves in a great manner anytime they see the president or the first lady. So it's a great honor, Mr. President.
Oh, solid advice from the diplomatic Scottie Pippen. How do you think Randy Brown felt? The Bulls gave the president his #1 jersey. Does he have to give that number up now, man?
Yes.
Cycling blows the layup and comes right back. So the Bulls lead 14-9.
Well, you saw once again the area where the Bulls are vulnerable right now. Without Dennis Rodman, Luke Longley on the bench in foul trouble. No Tony Kukoc. That interior defense is very, very weak.
Scottie Pippen with 8 points here at the start. Ron Harper breaking the Pippen streak. Scottie had scored Chicago's last 7 points prior to that field goal. And it's Chicago 17, Orlando 9.
Oh, the Magic are having all kinds of problems. Anytime there's a cross and a switch, nobody is staying with that particular man and challenging a shot.
Again, one-on-one move, but Hardaway could not find the opening and then goes to the outside shot. Like Penny upset that he was not able to do it off the dribble. So Hardaway with his first field goal. Pippen finding Caffey off the double team and draws the foul. Foul committed by Brian Shaw.
Well, Penny feels he can get by Scottie Pippen on dribble penetration anytime he wants. He just mishandled the ball. Scottie gave some ground there. Didn't really realize he had some help from Michael Jordan at the free throw line area. You could tell Michael wanted him to bring Penny Hardaway to him. Scottie couldn't do it. On his heels as Penny nails the jump shot.
Jason Caffey, a question mark the last couple of games. Hurt his knee against the Bullets. Jason getting the playing time this season, in particular with Dennis Rodman in and out of the lineup due to injuries and suspensions. Caffey, a first-round pick out of Alabama a year ago. Gerald Wilkins replacing Brian Shaw. Shaw leaving after collecting his second foul. Gerald Wilkins played an important part in that victory over the Knicks on Friday night, doing it against his former team.
Well, the Magic defense over the last 5 games has been very, very poor, uncharacteristically poor. A lot of that is because Horace Grant has not been available. He is so important, a catalyst to that defense.
Well, Cycli rejected. Parrish decided to throw back outside as he was faced with a double team. Here's Jordan. Pass. Depositing it into the hands of Jason Caffey.
And then a mishandle on the inbounds pass between Horace Grant and Penny Hardaway, and Scottie Pippen surprised Hardaway coming up from behind, but Michael Jordan on a beautiful crossover to blow by Nick Anderson and somehow or other threads the needle on the shovel pass to Jason Caffey.
Foul on Grant, his second. 5.5 remaining in this first quarter. The Bulls with a 21-11 lead. Jordan had it knocked away by Wilkins. Hardaway. He eluded Jordan, who is going for the block. Chicago 21, Orlando 13. Michael looking for his first points. Well, Michael Jordan telling us earlier he was looking to rev it up. It has not been a good stretch recently. He says he might have been a bit too much on the passive side as of late. Darrell Wilkins has had some good games in the past as a member of the Knicks against Michael Jordan, both offensively and defensively. Bulls lead by 8. Pippen is fouled, took a push.
Well, Michael Jordan thinking penetration. Good, tough, tight defense by Darrell Wilkins to be up there ready to challenge that jump shot. And Penny Hardaway knows that Michael is bearing down and will challenge this shot. So Penny put it into a little extra gear to get in and underneath and finish off that play in strong fashion.
Foul committed by Anderson. And it puts the Magic over the foul limit. How about the Knicks Friday night in the closing minutes? The strategy of Jeff Van Gundy to purposely foul Nick Anderson, who's been shooting 38% at the free throw line and has obviously been psyched out. Horace Grant departing. Derek Strong hears it from the crowd off his performance on Friday. I know back in your days with the Philadelphia 76ers, Wilt Chamberlain was fouled on purpose in closing minutes upon occasion. And
that's why they put a rule in that you can't do it under 2 minutes now. If you do it, you get 1 free throw and possession of the basketball.
That is if the player does not have the ball. 8-point Chicago lead coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Pippen got hemmed in. And on the turnover, here comes Hardaway, pushing it down to Strong.
Well, the Magic taking advantage of the running opportunity. It's almost like the Chicago Bulls in watching the tape of the New York game the other night in which the Knicks shot 2 for 22 from beyond the arc. They came out with the idea not to take jump shots, take the ball to the basket.
Last 10 games averaging for Michael, that's low, only 23 points per game. We talked about that earlier with Michael.
My approach for the last week and a half has been very relaxed, and I've kind of got into a passive mode, which my game has reflected that to some degree. And over the last couple of games, I've tried to become more aggressive and pick the beat up a little bit. I mean, it's easy to kind of take it easy going into the playoffs, but if you don't get your heart pumping to some degree and get some of those intensity levels raised a little bit, then you're going to go in flat into the playoffs. And I was kind of sunken into that for about a week, and now I'm starting to be more aggressive. So yeah, my attitude is changing to where I'm more aggressive on the basketball court.
And over that stretch, Chicago has won 9 of the 10. So despite the fact that Jordan's production has fallen off, this club continues to win. The only loss in that stretch to the Bullets on Thursday. The travel by Parrish giving the ball back to the Magic. The Bulls by 6, 3.5 to go in this first quarter. Cycli lost it and was fouled by Parrish.
Oh, Phil Jackson was telling us before the game that a month ago when the Bulls lost to New York at Madison Square Garden, they had a talk with the team saying that everybody looked like they were relying too much on Michael to carry the offensive load, and they kind of made a pledge together that other people will get involved. Another reason why Michael's scoring has tailed off.
Ryan Williams has checked in for the first time for Chicago. Cycli with the reverse. 6 points for Cycli, and the Bulls lead by 4. So Williams, Parrish, and Pippen up front with Harper and Jordan. Harper for 3. Ron Harper with 8 points. That's his second from downtown.
And Penny Hardaway still shaking his head. That was a knuckleball. That ball had no spin, no rotation. And Penny Hardaway just turned and looked at Harper and said, how did that thing go in?
Bulls lead 26-19. Strong has been guarded by Brian Williams. Brian Williams only his second game as a Chicago Bull. And Derek Strong took it right to him.
Now you can see the Magic realize that there is just not that much resistance inside right now with Parrish and Brian Williams. And even if there is, they're not concerned about it.
Jordan with his second field goal. Bulls 28 and the Magic 21. Bulls have hit their last 6. They're 10 of 13 for the quarter. Cycling battling for position with Parrish. Rebounded by Harper.
Ronnie's playing like a guy who's afraid he might lose his job to Danny Shays after that unbelievable game he had in New York the other night.
All right, here comes Anderson off the steal. Hardaway. Strong kept it alive, but deflected out by Wilkins. I tell you, Matt, Danny Shays not only came through with a season high 21 points, 11 rebounds, also set a new NBA record for post-game interviews. He did it all. He did TNT, he did Madison Square Garden Network, he did Orlando television, he did radio. And got a standing ovation when he returned to the locker room.
So he walked out of there with a pocket full of gift certificates, no doubt.
No question. And an audition tape. The rejection recovered by Pippen. Shot clock down to 1. Here's Pippen. And tipped home will not count. Offensive interference.
Phil Jackson does not agree at all in this call, and I'm not really sure either, as Pippen just waltzes into the basket with no resistance. But from that particular angle, it looked like the ball was still in contact or over the ring, and that would be a good call.
Hardaway. Offensive foul. Oh, he threw the ball at the official. Could be a T. Yes, it is. It was a light toss, but you can't do that. It embarrasses the official.
Well, actually, the official didn't react to it. The baseline referee, David Jones, is the one who's going to call the technical there. Yes, that's an obvious move by Penny Hardaway to show his disgust with that call.
He wanted to make certain that the young official, Scott Wall, was going to call it.
Penny has gone over to Scott and has tried to explain his case, and he's still upset. And this happens to Penny Hardaway from time to time. He gets preoccupied with what's going on around the game, mainly from officials, and not getting calls, and it sometimes takes him out of his game.
Off the steal, Anderson with Pippen back. Anderson lost the dribble, lost possession. Harper on the run. Harper blowing by Strong and is fouled. It was held by Derek Strong.
His first penalty situation.
And Ron Harper to the foul line. Well, you can go online to NBCSports.com for complete NBA coverage of the college season. Having concluded, we take a look at the incoming crop of NBA players, how they'll rate in the draft, plus an in-depth look at the career of Michael Jordan, where he'll go from here. Actually, Matt, he's headed back to Chicago. They play the Sixers tomorrow night. Okay. It's all at NBC Sports' new online address, NBCSports.com.
Penny Hardaway continuing to talk about that call of 2 plays ago with the lead official, Eddie Rush. He's tried to all 3 of them right now to try to get some kind of explanation and explain his case. Even though Ron Harper missed these 2 free throws, he almost looks rejuvenated. His lateral movement has been very poor throughout this season due to some off-season surgery. Has really hurt his defense, but he's already chipped in with 8 points.
Down to 20 seconds in the quarter. 8 on the shot clock. Cycling off the double team. And the foul. And Ronnie Ronnie Cycli moving well despite that sprained left ankle. He has 8 points.
On the 2 earlier games between Chicago and Orlando, Ronnie Cycli had good first halves offensively, mainly because the Bulls did not double team him. And he is an active, mobile, quick post player inside who can beat the slower Chicago defenders. And what happened in both of those games, the Bulls came out in the second half, more double teaming, taking Cycli out of his game, gambling on perimeter shots. Phil Jackson said before the game, the guy they worry most about with Orlando is Dennis Scott. They're going to hug up him and take away the 3. So far, they haven't had to worry about Scott in this ball game, but that's why they changed their philosophy last year against Shaquille O'Neal. They stayed home, played him one-on-one. They did not want Dennis Scott nor Nick Anderson to get going from downtown.
Foul on Brian Williams, putting Ronnie Cycli at the line, not able to complete the 3-point play. But Wilkins able to pull it. The Bulls with a 4-point lead. Steve Kerr has come on, replacing Robert Parrish. Randy Brown is checked in, wearing number 1, it should be pointed out. And here's Kerr going glass. Cycli rebounds. There's Darrell Armstrong, who just came on. And that's the end of the first quarter. A spirited first quarter here at the arena. High Point men for the Bulls, 8 apiece for Hopper and Pippen. For the Magic, 8 apiece for Cycli and Hardaway. Back in Orlando where the Bulls lead the Magic 29-25. Moments ago, Penny Hardaway called for that offensive foul, then threw the ball at the official, Scott Wall, which led to a technical foul, which was called by the official at the other side of the floor. More on that. Here's the Dean, Ahmad Rashad.
Well, thank you, Marv. I just happened to be sitting courtside listening to this conversation between Penny and Ed Rush, and Penny was saying that the official did not care about him throwing the ball over. Penny said he just passed the ball over. Ed said he threw it over just a little bit too rough, and that ended up in that technical. Mark?
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Penny Hardaway, 8 points in the first quarter, 2 of 5 from the field, 4 of 4 at the line. He'll sit down. Dennis Scott hears it from the crowd as he reports in. He's missed the last 2 games with a sprained left knee. And the Magic going small. Danny Shays also receiving an ovation as he comes on for the first time tonight. Gerald Wilkins. That's his third field goal. And the Magic now down by just 2.
Well, we were talking earlier about how the Magic have to believe they can win, and it's a lot easier when Dennis Rodman isn't playing, Tony Kukoc isn't playing, a guy that gives the Magic fits. But if the Magic got off to a slow start, Horace Grant, Brian Shaw, not that effective. I think Penny Hardaway was a little bit upset that they got off to a slow start.
Randy Brown just did elude touching the midcourt line with the good save. It set it up for Pippen. For Scotty, his second 3. He has 11 points. The Bulls 32, the Magic 27. Wilkins posting up on Judd Bushler, who just came on. Last touch by Grant. Horace, the former Chicago Bull. Making it back to the lineup today after sitting out with the back spasm problem. So the Bulls with Brown handling the ball for the most part. Pippen in a backcourt position. Caffey, Longley, and Bushler up front. Here is Bushler. Rebounded by Pippen. Randy Brown. And Shays able to cover that rebound.
Right now, the Magic do not have a player on the floor that will get double teamed. If you're talking about a guy like Penny Hardaway or Ronnie Cycli, that'll make it much more difficult for Scott to get open from 3.
Shays off the fake. Danny Shays with the head fake on Luke Longley, who is looking to avert a 3rd foul.
And Phil Jackson up. I think he wants to have a word with Luke Longley. They got to respect Danny Shays' perimeter shot. They don't expect him to put it on the floor and go to the hoop that easily.
Bulls by 3. Longley. Air ball. And last touch by the Bulls. Phil Jackson is upset. He's calling for time. Take a look at the move by Danny Shays. Not bad for a 16-year veteran, 37-year-old. Shays who comes off the 21-point season high in both points and rebounds in New York on Friday night. Matt, you know, in the past, the New York Knicks franchise was hammered on many an occasion by a fellow by the name of Dolph Schayes, a graduate of NYU who played for the Syracuse Nats. And, of course, Danny's father, Dolph, a Hall of Famer and one of the NBA's 50 greatest players.
Well, right away, the Magic going to their little pick and pop play. This is the one that was so successful against the Knicks the other night. However, they were running it more on the left side. And the Knicks not only have trouble defending that play, the Chicago Bulls, even at full strength, have trouble defending that play. There it is as Danny Schayes wide open, maybe a little bit, a step or two outside his range. Shoots it best at about 17, 18 feet.
And apparently a foul called away from the ball on Caffey. Early second quarter, the Bulls 32, the Magic 29. This is Armstrong giving it back to Schayes, who eludes Williams. What a bad pass. Threw it into a crowd, and it was wrestled free by Williams. Caffey wide open and decided to pull it back. Michael Jordan is back on the floor. Being guarded by Gerald Wilkins. Brian Williams spinning and hitting. Brian Williams, who was a #1 draft pick of one Matt Lucas and the Orlando Magic, the 10th pick overall 6 years ago here in Orlando.
Brian was a lot thinner about 5 or 6 years ago.
Brian is obviously playing his way into shape. Signed as a free agent earlier in the week when Bill Wennington was put on the injured list. Caffey comes up short. Brian Williams celebrating his 28th birthday today. Little social note. Jordan off the steal. Brian Williams' last NBA game prior to facing the Cavaliers for 8 minutes on Friday night was a year ago against the Bulls, as it turned out, in Chicago. Caffey watched by Grant. Shot clock at 2. Jordan has to force it. And Grant up with the loose ball. Armstrong played by Kerr. Scott feeling for Bushler. And the holding foul. It's a hand check on Jud Bushler.
Brian Williams has so much ability, so much skill. He's really struggling right now with trying to figure out the triangle offense. Not that it's all that difficult, but very hard to come in just for a couple of weeks. 3 former Wildcats on the Chicago Bulls. Not only Brian Williams, but Jud Bushler and Steve Kerr.
And all three celebrating the national championship victory last week. Dennis Scott. So he makes his return. That was his first field goal attempt. The Bulls lead 34-31. Bulls, after the hot shooting first quarter, have cooled off. Michael Jordan. That's his third field goal. He has 7. Bulls by 5. Hardaway is back. Wilkins posting up on Kerr. And Wilkins goes to the driving hook, but a foul is called. Offensive foul. It is on Wilkins.
Well, the Magic finding the mismatch right away. Keep an eye on the right arm of and elbow of Gerald Wilkins. He did stick it out there. Good call by the slot official, Scott Wall, to see that arm just brush away Steve Kerr, enabling Gerald Wilkins to get to the hole.
Timeout taken with 7:19. Well, the Orlando Magic doing it off the bench on the count of 12-2.
Well, normally it's Tony Kukoc and Steve Kerr doing the damage for Chicago. Derek Strong showing he's got the inside game to go along with the perimeter jumper. Gerald Wilkins wants to go middle of the floor. And then the up fake by Danny Schayes to get Longley leaning as Danny Schayes goes right to the basket by everybody.
And a look at the bench production here tonight, led by Gerald Wilkins. 11 minutes, 6 points. Gerald getting a rest. Coming up on 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Nick Anderson guarding Michael Jordan. The tip missed by Bushler and a foul. A loose ball foul. It is on Scott for Dennis's first. And first team foul by Orlando. Well, next Saturday, a special edition of the NBA on NBC, beginning with Showtime at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll see what may prove to be a pivotal game of the East Division playoff race. Patrick Ewing and the New York Knicks pay a visit to Alonzo Mourning, Pat Riley, and the Miami Heat. That's the Knicks versus the Heat next Saturday, right here on NBC. Jud Buechler, only 13 of 44 at the line, a 29% free throw shooter, apparently called in the act rather than a loose ball foul. Buechler hits 1 of 2 to give the Bulls a 6-point lead. The Orlando Magic only 2.5 games in front of Washington in the battle. What is now a battle foul is called on Brian Williams for the 7th and 8th slot. The Bullets have come on fast. They've moved by Cleveland. Washington 3 over Cleveland, and the Bullets with a win this afternoon in Boston, 2.5 behind. If the playoffs began today, these would be the matchups. Chicago playing Washington, Detroit, Atlanta, New York, Charlotte, and the first round matchup would be Miami and Orlando. So Danny Shea's at the line. Bullets now 39 and 36. Earlier today, Bullets won in Boston. Moving Washington, I should correct myself, Washington a half game ahead of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Washington over Boston 121-14. Steve Kerr hammers down the 3. Steve, the one-time Orlando Magic player, did not get that much playing time under his coach, Matt Guggens.
Couldn't get him to make a shot.
Oh, I see. Kerr and Jordan at the guards now, with Williams, Caffey, and Buechler up front. Brian Williams getting more playing time than Phil Jackson anticipated. Brian has been out there now 8 minutes. Jordan with the shot clock running down again. He's forced to take a long jumper with 1 on the 24. Here's Caffey. Nick Anderson has been very quiet, coming off the 3 of 13 the other night. Scott from 3. And it's Scott. 2 of 2 from the field. The Bulls 40, the Magic 35.
Now Dennis has missed the last couple of games. He's trying to stay on the floor, not only with the offense, he's trying to be very physical defensively as well. He knows that will earn him minutes. Oh,
beautiful touch pass from Buechler, setting it up for Brian Williams. His second field goal. He has 4, and the Bulls lead by 7.
All those Arizona players on the same wavelength.
Shaw, a 3 for Shaw. So the Bulls now lead 42-38. Brian Williams. Williams trying to keep it alive. Here comes Shaw. 20 moves on Kerr. Good play by Kerr to hold the dribble. Anderson for 3. Magic on fire. It's down to a 1-point lead, and Orlando doing it without Penny Hardaway. We're told that Penny is back in the Magic locker room, suffering from an upset stomach. Jordan, nice pass, and Williams turned back. Clean block, says Ed Rush.
Phil Jackson doesn't like the call. Right now, Brian Williams is running on fumes. He went about 9-10 minutes, pushed himself pretty hard. No way near in NBA basketball shape, but pushing himself hard there. Didn't get a lot of lift on that shot as the Magic interior defense coming alive.
Kerr for 3. Rebounded by Grant. Scott. Dennis Scott feeling it. Shaw putting moves moves on Kerr. And Cycling foul. Foul committed by Bushler.
Well, here are the three-point field goals as Dennis Scott really trying to get himself into that ball game. There's Brian Shaw, and then Nick Anderson has everybody left him alone. As sometimes the Magic can become three-point happy, and sometimes it will take them and take over a ball game. Other times it'll shoot them out of a ball game where they start rushing them with at least going inside first.
Orlando overall 4 of 8 from downtown. They now have a 10-2 run. They've hit their last 4 shots. They've tied the game at 42. The Bulls have led by as many as 10. Jordan with the step and the recovery. Michael Jordan with a beautiful move going left. Technical foul has been called on Phil Jackson. He was looking for a hacking call, did not get it, and was on the floor.
And Phil Jackson venting his anger toward referee David Jones, who was the underneath official that caused Phil getting a kick out of it. But the outside official, Eddie Rush, is the one that was watching Phil Jackson's antics, and he made the call as Nick Anderson fails to take Jordan to the screen. As it appeared, no hit on the contact. What I think Phil felt is once Michael gets by Nick Anderson, that Nick, oh boy, if there was a foul, there wasn't a foul.
You know, I think he saw it from the angle where Jordan stumbled but recovered. And a bad pass thrown by Shaw. And Penny Hardaway now making his way back from the locker room, as we mentioned, suffering an upset stomach. Richie Adubato asking if he's all right. Penny said yes.
I don't think he even asked if he's all right. You're going in.
Bulls by 2. We come up on 3 minutes left in this first half. And Kerr's pass misfire. Chicago Bulls opened up hitting 10 of their first 13 from the field. And since then, just 6 of 20. Now here's Hardaway replacing Shaw. Brian Shaw with 6 points on 2 3-pointers. Hardaway guarded by Kerr. Cycling off a double team. Grant with the tip. And a foul. Won't count. Luke Longley over the back of Horace Grant. And for Longley, his 3rd personal. Timeout is called with 2:49 remaining in this first half. A look at Horace Grant. Control. But 7 rebounds. And now going to the line. He's looking for his first point. In the first 2 meetings, the Bulls out-rebounded the Magic 105-59. Orlando's had a major problem on the boards. They are number 19 in total rebounding.
Well, a lot of that has to do with Penny Hardaway and Nick Anderson missing so many games in the early part of the season. They are big reasons why the Magic can be a very good rebounding team. And also Horace Grant has missed 13 ball games. And not only his defense, but his rebounding is a big factor for Orlando.
Chicago by 1 with 2:40 remaining. In this first half, Michael Jordan has 11.
Well, there's that inability to play pick and roll very well. Anytime Michael Jordan is involved in one, the Magic want to trap him. They step out, but he's just so quick with the dribble, able to slip inside and get to the basket.
Scott looking to post up. Bushler with the rebound, and a foul is called.
There's Michael Jordan and going against Nick Anderson, and Scott and Dickie Simpkins coming over to set that little pick. But Ronnie cycling too late and not aggressive enough to close in and make Michael Jordan pick up the dribble. And when you give Michael that little bit of daylight, he knows what to do with it.
Foul on Dickie Simpkins, who had come on just a moment ago. So Phil Jackson using the entire roster here this evening. Shorthanded. Dennis Rodman, Bill Wennington, Tony Kukoc all sidelined. Jason Caffey bothered by tendonitis in his knee. He's been doing quite a bit of shuffling in the first half. The Bulls lead 46-44. Nice pass. Jordan to Simpkins. Dickie Simpkins. In his third NBA season, out of Providence, a first-round draft pick of the Bulls 3 years ago.
Once again, pick-and-roll defense, not able to corral Michael Jordan. Just went wide with the dribble to stretch the defense and gets an easy one for Simpkins.
Chicago by 4. Cycling putting the move on Simpkins. And a 35 left in the half. Chicago Bulls looking for win number 65. They're 64-10. Jordan. Simpkins with the save. And handled by Buechler. I mentioned the record 64-10. Here's Pippen for 3. Wide open for Scottie Pippen, who now has 14. 9 of the 10 losses by Chicago have been on the road. The Bulls have not been defeated by the same team twice this season. Now, last year, Indiana, the only team to beat the Bulls twice. 51-46, Chicago. Hardaway being bothered by Pippen. Shot clock at 5. And the foul as Buechler came over to help out. Bulls are over the foul limit.
Michael Jordan just going wide, and Ronnie Cycling couldn't get in front of him to force him back to the baseline, and that enabled Michael Jordan to get that passing lane to Simpkins, and Scottie Pippen has been feeling it ever since minute 1 with that perimeter jump shot. As we said then, that makes the rest of his game even stronger.
Hardaway now 4 of 5 at the line. Foul on Buechler, his 3rd. Cycling sits down. Scott is back. And Brown checking in now for the Bulls. Ronnie Cycling with 14 points. Seconds remaining in the half. Hardaway has 9. The Bulls by 4. Some pressure by Orlando. Jordan looking to post up against Anderson. Now comes up high. Ran over to help on a double. Jordan spinning his way and foul. Nick Anderson saying that Jordan should have been called for a double dribble. Foul on Scott. Well, and Michael Jordan with 12 points. 23 seconds remaining in this first half. The Bulls lead by 5. Little help for Michael Jordan. A suggestion from fans here in Orlando. Michael had to think a moment when he saw that sign when he first entered the arena.
I think a lot of teams would be happy to see Michael take up golf on a permanent basis.
Bulls by 6. Again, they go to the pressure. Orlando holding for a last shot of this first half. We come up on 10 seconds. Randy Brown defending on Penny Hardaway. Here's Hardaway for 3. He's down to a 3-point lead. Jordan gets it off in time. At the half in Orlando, and a good one. The Bulls 53. The Magic 50. Pippen with 14. Hardaway with 12. Jordan with 13 points. Stay tuned for Hannah Storm and the production. Welcome back to Orlando. The usual capacity crowd, 17,248 here at the arena. Marv Albert, Matt Kukas, and Ahmad Rashad with this second half getting underway. The Bulls 53, the Magic 50. Hardaway. Penny Hardaway with 14. And it pulls Orlando within 1.
Well, in a game like this, very competitive, you expect the stars to assert themselves, as Penny Hardaway Cycling did in the first half, along with Pippen and Jordan, as Luke Longley, starting this second half with 3 fouls, able to knock down that shot. But Orlando is going to have to find somebody else to get involved offensively as well. Nick Anderson, very quiet in that first half.
Nick Anderson coming off a 3 of 13 in New York Friday, just 1 of 2 from the field in the first half. Hardaway, and back comes Jordan. Jordan and Harper in the backcourt. Longley with Pippen and Caffey on the front line. Chicago Bulls looking for win number 65. They are 64-10. They've won 9 of the last 10. Longley gets it inside, and then Caffey pitches out. Harper, Caffey with the rebound. Harper for Pippen. He's had the hot hand. Scottie Pippen also with 4 steals in the first half. Here's Jordan. Yes. Michael Jordan with a 3. And he has 16 points.
Well, there is one of those second shot opportunities, and invariably it ends up in a three-point shot. Usually it happens a lot quicker than that, but the Bulls very patient with their offense to start the third quarter.
Bulls lead by 6 points. Cycling to the fadeaway. Oh, good job by Anderson. Harper went flying in front of the Chicago bench. Anderson wide open for 3. Cycling with the rebound. Grant not able to hit.
Well, Horace Grant, even though he has 7 rebounds in this game, laboring with his running and laboring with his offense after missing 3 games this week, not sharp at all.
Harper using the screen to set it up for Jordan. 18 for Michael Jordan. The Bulls lead 60-52.
And Richie Adubato wants the Magic to get it up in the front court and talk things over with a 20-second timeout.
20-second timeout, Orlando.
Well, Michael Jordan telling us before the game and telling a lot of other people he wants to get going offensively. For him to be under 30 points a game, very unusual. Still
9.7 per game. So under the 30-point mark for the first time in many a year.
Michael spreading it around in the first half. The Magic coaching staff feel that Brian Shaw is the best candidate to play Michael at crunch time.
Anderson. Nick Anderson not able to put it down.
But that's a good call by the Magic to get Anderson to go to the basket and post up. He's got to mix up his offense.
Nice ball movement by the Bulls. Very unselfish. Caffey getting it back to Pippen. Scottie Pippen has had a sensational game. That's his 4th 3. He has 17 points. And the Bulls have their biggest lead of the night. They're up by 11. Cycling lost it. And the foul given by Anderson.
Well, on the double team, and this is how Cycling has had problems with the Bulls in the 2 previous games. They come generally with big players, and Ronnie Cycling historically has had problems against bigger players on the double team. That time he just bounced it off his foot as before Jason Caffey got over there for the double team. But I'd go to Nick Anderson about 3 or 4 straight times down the floor inside.
Pippen again. 7 of 8 from the field. It's a 12-2 run by the Bulls. They have come out with a burst here in the third. Timeout taken by Orlando. Monday on NBA.com, the official website of the NBA. Fans can go one-on-one in a live chat session with an NBA player tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Juwan Howard of the Washington Bullets will take time out from the playoff chase to join fans in cyberspace for a live 30-minute chat session. Check out the online world of NBA.com. All hoops, all the time.
Boy, the Magic coming out of that timeout with a very sloppy execution as Shaw kicking it off his foot.
Make it 20 points for Michael Jordan, and the Bulls have hit 6 of 7 from the field in this third quarter. Harper able to deflect it out. A 14-2 run by Chicago.
And in typical fashion, the Bulls make you pay for every mistake. If you turn it over during the live action, they are one of the best teams with the quick strike. This ball was from an out of bounds, and the Magic just fell asleep getting back on defense, and that'll earn Brian Shaw a seat on the bench.
Darrell Wilkins has come on, replacing Brian Shaw. Departs with 6 points. Cycling. Very friendly rim for Ronnie Ronnie Cycli.
Well, he used it all. The double team was coming, but came too late as he was able to spin away from Luke Longley. Another reason for double teaming Cycli is Luke Longley starts this third quarter with 3 personal fouls.
The Bulls lead by 13. And Jordan hit on a reach-in. Trying to split his way through and fouled by Hardaway.
Well, Ronnie Cycli knows if he goes to the middle of the floor, he's going to see a lot of red shirts and quick hands. So he made the little move, and he does have a good counter, either on a drop step, strong move to the basket, or that little fadeaway jump shot. But he doesn't normally get that friendly a rim.
16 points for Cycli. And Michael Jordan, 4 for 4 at the line. Dennis Scott is back, coming on for Nick Anderson. Anderson sits down just 1 of 4 from the field. Chicago Bulls back home for Philadelphia tomorrow night, and then they'll play 3 straight on the road at Indiana Wednesday, in New York against the Knicks Thursday, and at Detroit next Sunday afternoon. That's an NBC game. The Pistons and the Bulls. Wilkins for 3. The Knicks and the Bulls with 2 more games to go. One will be seen on NBC. That's the game in Chicago in a couple of weeks. 5 minutes gone by in the third. Jordan, yes.
And that was against tough defense, not only by Gerald Wilkins, but Horace Grant coming hard for the double team, but Michael in rhythm right now.
Hardaway, and back come the Bulls. Pippen delivers to Kenny. Foul pushed by Hardaway. Well, Michael Jordan enjoyed that last jump shot. Take a look, goes to the left hand, and then makes the switch to the right.
Well, sometimes the Bulls can execute their offense because defense is just so soft, but Michael Jordan enjoying the moment, looking over here. Say, you guys watching this? Are you watching me do this? And again, good, tough defense. But we saw the response of Orlando the last 2 possessions, coming down and settling for a 3-point shot. When they were cooking in the first half, early in this third quarter, when Penny Hardaway was running screen roll, driving, getting to the basket, attacking the hole, that's when they can break down the Chicago Bulls.
Well, the Bulls with 19 points in this third quarter, and Jordan and Pippen have accounted for 16 of the 19. Michael with 11, Scotty with 5. 72-54. The Bulls have run away from the Magic here in the third. It was a 3-point game at halftime. Horace Grant way off, and the Magic struggling. Jordan putting moves on Wilkins. Yes. Michael Jordan with 26 points, 5 of 5 from the field in the third. It's a 20-point Chicago lead, and the Magic will talk it over. 6:17 remaining in the third. Here's Jordan doing it from the left side. A huge third quarter for Michael Jordan and the Bulls. The Bulls on a 21-4 tear here in the third. The Magic only 2 of 10 from the field. Michael is 5 for 5. He scored 13 of Chicago's 21 points. And the Bulls lead 74-54. We're halfway through the third. Hardaway taking Pippen down low. Rejected by Jordan, who came over to help. And then, well, apparently just did step out. He was trying to avoid the sideline.
Penny Hardaway trying to back his way in, but 4 shirts pretty much coming over to Penny Hardaway, but the long arm of Michael Jordan knocking that loose, and Michael just stepped out of bounds, I think with the right and the left on that white line.
Cycli and Scott playing catch. Cycli foul. Ronnie Cycli will head back to the line. Hit by Luke Longley, so that's 4 on Longley.
And you can't necessarily fault the defense of the Magic. These shots are being challenged for the most part. This one obviously not, as he is wide open. Too quick for Brian Shaw there. But you can fault the offense of Orlando. It has been non-attacking except coming out of that timeout. the last 2 possessions. Cycling taking the basket, and Hardaway, as Michael Jordan this season, just under 30 points, leading the NBA. One of the best rebounders, guard, or anything, one of the best defenders. Will give up the ball when he is covered. Michael's steals are down a little bit, but he has had to use his energy quite a bit this year with all the absences of Rodman and Kukoc.
And Phil Jackson reinserting Brian Williams, who played 10 minutes in the first half. His second game as a Bull. That's Williams with it, working against Cycling.
And I'm sure nobody on the Chicago Bulls coaching staff or bench felt good about that particular shot, but Brian was open.
Here's Dennis Scott. And rebounded by Jordan. Jordan and Hopper in the backcourt. Pippen with Caffey and Williams up front.
They can see when Brian comes up there and catches on that little weak side flash. He's just not comfortable as to what he's supposed to do with the ball.
Michael Jordan again. What a touch. 6 for 6 from the field. In the third overall, 11 of 17. He has 28 points.
Well, that man is comfortable with what to do with the basketball. And even though Gerald Wilkins is challenging these shots, they're going down. You have to double team Michael Jordan every time he catches it right now.
Cycling. And he drew the foul. It's on Brian Williams.
Michael Jordan.
Michael, just so devastating when he has the jump shot going. Gerald Wilkins had been trying to play him without the ball. This is a post-up and a turnaround shot as the double team was coming, but way too light. It has to come as the ball is entering his hand. You got to do something to get the basketball out of the hands of Michael Jordan right now, because he is scorching.
And the last foul was on Jordan, not Williams. So 2 on Jordan.
He's saying to Horace, way too slow, big fella. You're going to have to get there a lot quicker to stop the way I am going right now.
I'm always amazed, Matt, the way you are able to capture the on-court discussion. Is that what he said? Bulls 76 and the Magic 58 with 4.5 remaining in the third quarter. Brian Williams was asked the other day, is he familiar with the triangle offense of the Bulls? Williams with the tip. He said no problem. He just talked to a couple of the ball boys in Chicago. They explained it to him, and he's ready.
He said he even asked some of the referees. Everybody seems to know the triangle, but Brian right now.
20-point Chicago lead. Strong had it poked away by Jason Caffey. 11 on the shot clock. The Orlando Magic have dropped 4 of the last 5 games. They've lost 4 in a row, and then came up with that surprising win against the Knicks in New York on Friday, although they were hard hit by injury. Cycling with the rebound and pops it out. Here's Scott for 3. The Orlando Magic appear to be entrenched in the number 7 spot in terms of playoff seeding, but now looking the other way with the bullets coming out. Pippen a strip. Oh, the tomahawk stuff by Caffey.
And Scottie Pippen glaring at the official, couldn't figure out why he didn't get a whistle as he got his wristband, which is up around his elbow, almost taken off him.
Brian Williams all over Ronnie Cycling, preventing the pass, but an illegal defense called on Chicago.
Now Scottie Pippen in traffic gets inside Penny Hardaway, and Cycling coming over to help. Got a piece of the ball, also got a piece of the arm of Scottie Pippen, but right into the waiting hands of Jason Caffey.
Second violation leading to the technical foul. Hardaway has 15, and the Bulls now lead 80-62. Here's Judd Bushler checking back in, replacing Jason Caffey. Caffey leads with 9 points. Strong now facing a double team. Jordan coming over. Hardaway for 3. Well, the Magic looking to get back into it from 3-point range.
Well, those are the kind of shots that are going to open up if you double team and then make two crisp passes, which the Magic were able to do there. But so far, Pippen has done a good job on Hardaway. Even though he has 18 points, Hardaway has not gotten his teammates involved.
Brian Williams, the tip missed by Michael Jordan, who thought he was fouled. Down to 2.5 to go in the third. Cycling, putting moves on Williams. And a traveling violation.
Well, initially, Brian Williams did an outstanding defensive job on Ronnie Cycli. Brian with the big body right now. Probably about 30, 40 pounds more than he should be, but battled Cycli, pushed him off the block, took Cycli out of his little comfort zone, just went straight up on the shot, got the rebound, and then just mishandled on the turnover.
Brian Williams spent most of the season recovering from knee surgery and then went through that long holdout. Gerald Wilkins has 8, and the Magic cutting it down to 13. 9-2 run by Orlando. Jordan banks it up on Hardaway. And sends it ahead to Williams, and a foul call. Offensive foul. Correction, Derek Strong is called on that foul.
And this is a good idea, too, with Michael Jordan being so hot right now. You want to make him work at the defensive end. And on the last couple of possessions, every time Gerald Wilkins has gotten the ball, he has thought, penetrate, go to the basket, make Michael Jordan work, because he is killing Orlando offensively.
So Brian Williams with 7 points with the Clippers last season. He averaged just under 16 per game. Spent the period recovering from surgery and the holdout, learning to be a pilot. Brian using his time. He is a colorful player, we have to say.
He is every bit of that, and he is an adventuresome sort, but that's not all that a comforting thought. Brian in an airplane.
Really?
Driving it.
Ronnie Cycli. So it's down to 13. The Bulls have led by as many as 20. Randy Brown now in the backcourt with Michael Jordan, who has scored 15 points in this third quarter. Act of defense, reach-in foul on Cycli. That's only the first on Ronnie Cycli. Michael Jordan missing on his first at the line. He hit his previous 5. He has 28 points. 6 of 7 from the field in this red-hot third quarter. And now 16 of his 29 points have come here in the third. The Bulls 83, the Magic 69 as we approach 1 minute left in the third. Marv Albert with Matt Guokas and Ahmad Rashad from Orlando. Series of moves by Strong, and then he fired it up.
Not a good job by Brian Williams defensively. Took a shove from Ronnie Cycli, able to hold his position and get the rebound.
Hardaway checking over with Richie Adubato at the Orlando bench. Strong posting up Bushler and called for a traveling violation.
Derek Strong does have an effective postgame. Generally, it's from the other block. That time in a rush to try to do something against Bushler. Just hurried his play. And too quick with the feet on the walking violation as Bushler unable to get around and front in that situation. Steve Kerr getting a call. Only played 7 minutes in that first half, and it seemed that every time that he was on the floor and the Magic had the opportunity, they would try to post him up, and it's cost him some minutes in this game.
Ryan Williams, as you saw, enthusiastically greeted back at the Chicago bench. He's played 15 minutes. 83-69 Chicago. Jordan rebounded by Strong. 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Bulls have outscored the Magic here in the third, 30-19. Darrell Armstrong back on the floor for the Magic. And they're holding for a final shot of the quarter. Hardaway working off the dribble against Pippen and is fouled. It's only the third team foul against Chicago.
Penny Hardaway is just such an outstanding player at the end of quarters, generally comes up with something good, but the Bulls wisely using that foul that they have to give before Hardaway could get in the act of shooting.
Final seconds of the quarter. Wilkins puts the move on Bushler and hits. 7/10 of a second left in the third. And Brian Williams went the safe route instead of firing it down. So Michael Jordan took command in the third. 16 of his 29 in this third quarter. And after three, the Bulls lead by quarter, outscoring Orlando 21-4. And at one point led by as many as 20. Orlando able to turn things in the latter stages of the third quarter, but it was too much Michael Jordan as far as the Magic were concerned. Michael with 16 of his 29 in the third.
At 6 out of 9, many of them, all of them actually, jump shots, many of them contested. But when Michael is on that kind of roll, the only thing he can do is double team him on the catch, get the ball out of his hands.
So Jordan getting a rest. Scottie Pippen now running the team. Fourth quarter is underway. Intended for Longley and a foul. Pushing foul on Cycling. That is his second.
Well, the double teaming on Ronnie Cycling cost a turnover, but he still scored 8 points in that third quarter. So really not all that effective, but the Magic's offense became very perimeter oriented until the end of the third quarter.
Longley working the high post. Caffey played by Strong. Caffey, nice move. Off the fake, went to the jump shot.
Well, Jason was looking for Pippen underneath. Pippen not guarded, but pointed up to the basket. Let it fly wide open.
85-71, Chicago. And Strong works inside. Derek Strong with his second field goal. Derek Strong in his 6th season at it. Xavier certainly made the rounds in the NBA. Washington, Milwaukee, Boston, the Lakers, Orlando. Traveling violation is called. Phil Jackson looking puzzled regarding that call. A minute gone by in the fourth quarter. Darrell Armstrong handling. Armstrong in his third NBA season from Fayetteville State. Not been getting the playing time recently, did earlier in the season when Penny Hardaway was injured. Cycling took the ball, it counts, and the foul.
And the big difference on this play is Ronnie Cycling protects the ball as he's able to knife between the two defenders. Kept the ball tight to his chest before he got it up and released it, whereas many times Ronnie has the habit of hanging that ball out like a loaf of bread, and often it gets stripped.
Foul on Pippen, his second. Cycling with a three-point play. Big bounce-back game for Cycling coming off the sprained ankle. He has 25 points. Armstrong pressuring Kerr. Couple of seconds to get it over, and he does. Just did avoid the 10-second violation. Longley. Luke Longley with his third field goal. He has 6, and the Bulls lead 87-76.
I'm a little surprised the Bulls left Steve Kerr all alone to handle the ball against a very tough pressure defender, Darrell Armstrong.
Wilkins. 12 points for Gerald Wilkins. Magic showing some signs. Michael Jordan sitting it out here in the opening minutes of the fourth quarter. It's a 9-point Chicago lead. Shot clock at 6. Kerr for 3. Hardaway running the floor. Finding Wilkins. Rebounded by Cycling and Strong battling each other, and at cost, it's a travel. Timeout is taken. titles as a member of the Boston Celtics. He's playing an NBA record 21st season. He's the all-time leader in games played. And at 43, Robert Parrish, the oldest player currently in the NBA. In recognition of this classic moment, Miller Beer will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Matt, the oldest player to ever play in the NBA, our staff checked it out, researched it. Nat Hickey, at the age of 46, played one game for the old Providence Steamrollers back in the 1947 season. And you're looking at me strangely. This was checked out thoroughly.
I wanted to ask you what kind of player Nat was when you broadcasted that game.
I knew it would be a cheat line that doesn't work. You're good for 2 or 3 a year.
You almost kept me from getting it.
3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. And the Bulls with an 87-78 lead. Michael Jordan is back. Good play by Gerald Wilkins to bat it away from Jordan.
That's amazing what Darrell Armstrong can do. And then get this crowd ignited. He just makes everybody rush their offense.
Strong posting up. Nick Anderson for 3. Nick Anderson continues to struggle. It leads to the Bush lost his foot. Looks like he got shaken up. He slipped. You mentioned earlier the floor here has been very slippery. They did play hockey last night. The Orlando Solar Bears in action. Wilkins lost it. And here's Jordan. Calls the foul. Foul on Strong, and Michael Jordan to the line. Well, on NBC tonight after the game, it's Third Rock from the Sun, followed by an all-new Boston Common and the network premiere movie Blown Away, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Jeff Bridges. That's all right here on NBC tonight. Michael Jordan with 30 points.
Now the Magic have the right idea at the offensive end to challenge the interior defense of Chicago, attack the basket. Good things generally will happen, but the problem with that is so many of the Bulls have very quick hands defensively, in particular Jordan and Pippen. You must protect the ball.
Anderson, played by Pippen. Shot clock at 7. Strong, yes. Derek Strong with 6 points. Continues to play well. 9-point Chicago lead. They led by as many as 20. Here's Pippen for 3. And again a mix-up on the rebound battle, and it leaves the Magic giving it right back.
Well, a little earlier, both Cycli and Derek Strong went for a rebound and got a walking violation because they were over-aggressive. This time, a little bit of hesitation, but actually Strong got a break by stepping out of bounds because he threw the ball right underneath the basket.
Oh, what a play by Armstrong, and then dangerously try to save it. He's lucky that a Bull player did not make the catch.
Darrell Strong, so quick, so aggressive, beating Michael Jordan to the spot as Armstrong trying to save the ball back in the basket area.
Well, that's just an instinctive move. You make the big play, and then you want to complete it, so he went behind the back for the save.
Yeah, you always say the player should never do that, but when you're in the heat of battle, all you're thinking about is get the
ball. In the fourth quarter, look at the Eastern Conference standings. Miami with the lead on the New York Knicks by 3.5 games. And next Saturday, it's the Knicks and the Heat right here on NBC. The last time they met back in January, Pat Riley returning to Madison Square Garden, but Patrick Ewing of the Knicks spoiled the visit. Ewing with 24 points, 10 rebounds. Allen Houston added 17 as the Knicks defeated the Heat 95-89. And next Saturday, a special edition of the NBA on NBC, beginning with showtime at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and then the Knicks and Miami next Saturday on NBC. Chicago's magic number to clinch best record in the East, incidentally, is 1. A Bulls win or a Miami loss would do it. Miami Miami could finish 64-18 as they follow right through with victory. Steve Kerr. So Kerr just did beat the shot clock, and the Bulls now lead by 11. Chicago's magic number to clinch best record overall to have home court advantage throughout the playoffs is 2. And Hardaway answers with a 3. That would mean any combination of Chicago wins or Utah Jazz losses adding up to 2, and that would do it. Here's Jordan setting it up for Williams. Brian Williams to the left hand. And the Bulls now lead 93-83.
Even though Brian Williams isn't in real good game shape at this point, he has still shown offensively he's got those quick spin moves that enables him to get his shot up.
10 points for Williams in 18 minutes. Season high. Brian Williams could be pointed out is in his second game with the Bulls, playing only 8 minutes the other day. The ball back to Chicago.
A terrific defensive play by Steve Kerr to run Nick Anderson off that three-point shot, forced him to put the ball on the floor, and forced him to make a tough interior pass to Cycli and the turnover.
Here's Kerr again. Steve Kerr heating it up here in the fourth. He now has 7 points. The Bulls by 12.
And Richie Adubato telling Penny Hardaway, you got to get up on Steve Kerr. You can't give him those kind of looks. Ever since Darrell Armstrong went out of the ball game a couple of minutes ago, now Steve Kerr's able to get some good looks at the basket.
Just under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. Nick Anderson. Well, Nick Anderson with only his second field goal. He's had a lot of open looks, has not been able to take advantage. And Orlando down by 10. Caffey. Oh, what a move again by Jason Caffey.
This is the huge difference between Jason Caffey last year as a rookie and now this year as a comfortable player. A year ago, he would not have made that type of an aggressive move, and that's why the Bulls very happy with his progress, and he's done a terrific job when Rodman has been out.
13 for Caffey. And Wilkins draws the foul. Phil Jackson telling us earlier that he was looking for other people to step up aside from Michael Jordan, and he has seen that here tonight with Caffey and Kerr in the fourth quarter. Brian Williams has done the job.
Well, that's when a lot of players on Chicago would look for Scottie Pippen or Michael Jordan to bail them out, just give them the ball and get out of their way. But Jason Caffey saw that he was being pressured and made the good, smart, instinctive basketball play of trying to beat his man off the dribble.
For Gerald Wilkins, his first appearance at the line. So the Chicago Bulls with another solid effort, although they're playing without Dennis Rodman, without Bill Wennington, without Tony Kukoc. Kukoc had missed 12 games, was on the injured list with that right foot problem. He re-injured the foot. Bulls are not sure when he'll make his return. Dennis Rodman was saying he hopes to get back for the final 2 games of the regular season against Miami and the Knicks. Bulls 97 and the Magic 86. And Scottie Pippen is fouled. Overall, in Dennis Rodman's absence, including suspensions, the Bulls have gone 16-3. Now, certainly they'd rather have him in the lineup, but look at it this way: with Dennis out, now these final 8 games of the regular season cuts down on the likelihood of another incident or suspension that could affect the playoffs. It's kind of a negative way of looking at it, but there may be some truth there.
And Dennis is saying that he wants to come back for the last 2 regular season games, so he is ready for those playoffs. The Bulls have looked sharp for much of this ball game, mainly because Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan have had very good games. But let's be honest, to be a championship threat again, which they already are, they're going to need Dennis Rodman and Tony Kukoc.
What about the Brian Williams situation, Matt? Is this a showcase scenario? Won't count. Cycli will not get the call on the continuation. Foul called on Longley. You hear the reaction from the crowd. a non-shooting foul.
Early this season, Ronnie Cycling was not getting this continuation call. As the season wore on and he was putting up impressive number, he started to get it. That was clearly continuation.
Anderson is fouled, and he will go to the line.
Foul number 25, Steve Kerr.
A reminder, next Sunday, right here on NBC, a doubleheader starting with NBA Showtime at 12:30 Eastern. And then in Game 1, Michael Jordan and the Bulls will try to continue their run into the postseason against Grant Hill and the Detroit Pistons. And most of you will see Karl Malone and the Jazz face the Lakers at the Forum, while others will see the Sonics and the Rockets. Check your local listings for the games in your area. That's the NBA on NBC next Sunday starting at 12:30 Eastern. So we'll be showing NBA basketball Saturday and Sunday. Jordan is fouled, hit by Wilkins.
And tomorrow night on TBS, the Miami Heat and Detroit Pistons will be going in. Both teams have had terrific seasons as the Heat try to hold on to that second seed and win the Atlantic Division crowd. Miami, or I should say Detroit, still battling New York and Atlanta for third spot in the Eastern Conference, trying to avoid that 4 or 5 position where if you do win first round, you'll be looking at the Chicago Bulls, no doubt, in the second.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Bulls with the ball and a 13-point lead. They broke it open in the third. A 21-4 run right at the start of the third that was sparked by Jordan, who has scored 16 of his 31 in the third. And they get the new 24. Cycling got a hand on it to break it up. Anderson for 3. He is now 2 for 7.
And Richie Adubato did not want that shot there, even though the Magic, with 3.5 minutes to go, down by 13. I think Richie made it clear at the beginning of this ball game. He wants the mindset to be take the ball to the basket.
Michael Jordan. A 3 for Jordan. He has 34 points. And a timeout called by Richie Adubato. Second three-pointer for Jordan.
Michael Jordan had the outstanding third quarter, and he's still feeling it, looking for his offense as much as possible.
102-86 lead over Orlando, and Michael Jordan passing by Oscar Robertson now in the number 5 spot all time. Earlier this season was able to move by John Havlicek for 6th place on the all-time list. Michael with 34 points tonight. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Danny Shays back on the floor. Hardaway rebounded by Caffey. Kerr off the head fake. Shot clock at 4. Jordan for 3. So he buries his third three-pointer. And he has 37 points.
Well, we're going to play the Chicago Bulls. You know you have to worry about Scottie Pippen. You know Michael Jordan is always a threat to do something like this to you. Normally, it's Tony Kukoc who gives the Magic the most problems, but Michael Jordan has more than made up for Tony's absence.
He has 24 of the 37 in the second half. And a foul is called. He had 13 at halftime and has picked it up considerably in the second half.
Michael Jordan once again being pressured and challenged by Gerald Wilkins, who has seen a lot of jumpers go right in his face. And here's Michael Jordan with the 3-point signal.
And the hand is for Michael Jordan. Nice crowd response here in Orlando. Michael does not always receive this kind of appreciation on the road.
Well, he put on a spectacular shooting performance. As I said, it wasn't all that easy. Again, when he has it going like that, if you're not double teaming him and getting the ball out of his hands, you're subject to getting that kind of treatment from Michael Jordan when he has the hot hand.
A magnificent day for Michael Jordan. 37 points on 13 of 22 shooting. Also had 8 rebounds. This is a game that began with Scottie Pippen having the hot hand. Now Scottie will sit down. Finished with 21 points, 7 of 10 from the field. Excellent all-around game for Pippen. And the Bulls now lead 106-86 as we come up on 2 minutes remaining in the game. Hardaway. So the Chicago Bulls will make it 65 wins, 65-10. Last year at this time, they were 66-8. So let's see, after 75 games, they lost their next game. It was 66-9. It's unbelievable, Matt. They're just 1 game off the pace of a year ago.
Well, and they've been saying all year long, like they did last year, that the 70-win plateau was not that big a deal to them. I think somewhere deep in the back of their minds, they would, if not win 72, they would like to at least get to the 70-win mark to be the only team, obviously, to do that 2 years in a row, and that would be a difficult challenge for anybody to try to ever duplicate it.
And tomorrow night, Phil Jackson's club back home for Philadelphia. Back at the United Center, then 3 straight on the road at Indiana Wednesday. They'll face the Knicks in New York on Thursday, and then at Detroit next Sunday afternoon. That will be an NBC game next Sunday with the Bulls and the Pistons. A minute and a half remaining in the game.
I think the Magic coming into this game felt they were going to kind of ride a wave of confidence after that miraculous win in New York, being shorthanded the other night, and came out with that look in their eyes, but with the Horace Grant coming back from the back spasms, really wasn't sharp at all. Ronnie Cycling did come back after the bad ankle and had a strong game. I thought Dennis Scott, in the limited amount of time that he had, worked very hard, but the Magic have a lot of work ahead of them to hold on to that 7th spot.
This will be 5 losses the last 6 games. Here's Brown. Randy Brown knocks one down. 110-88 the score. Magic now with the rookie from Indiana, Brian Evans, checking in, along with the rookie from Marquette, Amal McCaskill. This is McCaskill spinning his way and fouled. Played well the other night against the Knicks. Has not seen much action. It's only his 14th game of the season. 2nd round pick from Marquette. He spent most of the season on the injured list. Matt, earlier we're talking about the 2 previous games between Orlando and Chicago. Final scores identical, 110-89, and that is the score right here. McCaskill just ruined it. The irony, the sense of irony ruined by Amal.
He ruins every party that he attends.
So it's 110-90. And we're down to 50 seconds to go. Harper rebounded by Simpkins, and he lost it. Here comes Armstrong with the hesitation move and fouled by Brown. Penny Hardaway with 23 points. Michael Jordan 37 to lead the way. And the Bulls will make it 10 wins the last 11 games.
Marty, you were asking a little earlier about Brian Williams, what this means for Chicago and Brian the rest of the season. Is it a showcase? Well, it certainly is a showcase for Brian, because he's trying to show what he can do, and he will get to do it on a very big stage throughout the playoffs. But the Bulls need help up front because of Bill Wennington not being available, Dennis Rodman. You just never know. So I think they saw some positive signs in the last 2 outings for Brian Williams. He still has to get in better shape.
The question is, could he end up with the Bulls, considering the salary cap limitations?
And the answer to that is he can, but only at a 20% raise over $247,000. As Brian Evans, the rookie out of Indiana, knocks down a 3-pointer.
Bulls lead 110-94. Final seconds, and Harper just dribbles it out. The Bulls shoot 55% for the night. 39 of 71, sparked by George. We'll be talking with Michael when we come back in just a moment. For the Bulls, it's win number 65. They pull away in the second half and win in a romp over the Magic.